I can't do it. It's impossible. This is ridiculous. I need a different game. Dash? In mid-air? Not today. What a trip. I saw this dragon, and a parade of fire erupted from his mouth, marching across his tongue. Some flames jumped at me and tried to kill me, but I managed to dodge the dragon's central third head when it transformed into a napalm launcher, and then there was a dead octopus on some girl's head. Some eels shocked her, bringing the octopus to life and turning it into snakes. After I killed her, one of the snakes started playing a violin, in spite of Snake's ostensible lack of arms. Cuphead's a game about a little Nazi cup who kills Jews, but he also kills a Nazi rat at one point, so I guess one can't enjoy sunny days without enduring some rainy ones. Close your heart to the suffering of inanimate objects. If you've heard the name Cuphead, you know it's tough. You'll need to exhibit careful foresight and ruthless agility against these bosses, especially as a plane, because there is 300,000 men on that beach, and he's not himself, George. He might never be himself again. Cuphead offers 3 notches of health per stage, and there's no way to heal, so some of these 2-minute bosses will take as many as 45 minutes to beat, because of how many times you'll miss your footing and fall into a projectile you'll have already moved mountains to dodge. In terms of Cuphead's immediately captivating art, what's a lot of fun to see is the diversity across the 1930s style animation and music. You'll fight everything from different breeds of bees to a mad scientist's robot. The Nazi rat's only the tip of the iceberg. Some of the cartooning may appear to be anachronistically dark. At least, I think some of it's macabre. What of the purple ethereal triangles this queen bee summons from a different dimension? What are the limits of her power? Does anyone know what she does? Also, Cuphead presents one of the best game soundtracks I've heard. Many songs are similar, though I have a few favorites. They sound like they necessitate incredible skill across many instruments, and each song sounds as authentically 30s as the visual art looks. The soundtrack's reminiscent of Scott Joplin's work, among other examples of ragtime that I don't know because I don't study music. It's jazzy, it's fun, it'll drive you crazy. That Cuphead's a quintessential 30s cartoon as a video game makes it the first of its kind, but it isn't one of those mediocre indie games whose only strength is art. It's a rewarding challenge, with gameplay that the developers have tested to Kingdom Come and back several times. It's a thrilling, verbally abuse your teammate couch co-op that's tons of fun to play alone as well. As of 2017, the gold standard for couch co-op had been the N64. Cuphead's similar to other effective boss battlers in that half the fight's general reflexes, while the other half's acclimating to a boss's moveset. I had a lot of fun mastering the many boss behaviors, discovering how to accomplish tasks quickly without taking damage. You'll be able to use different projectile types and equip power-ups that go a long way. For instance, my favorite perk offers invincibility frames, so that I can praise the sun and stay alive. For laymen, invincibility frames that take place over the course of a dodge are visual frames during which the protagonist's invincible. Upon equipping this trinket, you won't take damage while dodging, whether you pass through a hazard or not. Many of these boss behaviors may not look like much because they aren't much. What makes each boss behavior challenging is that it rarely works alone, and you'll have to juggle your attention among several dangers that parade around a tiny battlefield. While you may only sustain 3 hits, as usual, the other guy can take 10,000 hits, and this'll give you plenty of time to make fatal mistakes. One of gameplay's other major strengths is its satisfying parry mechanic. You'll be able to ricochet off anything pink, and parrying pink items as you fight a boss will increase your resource for super moves, such that the more you parry, the more you can use moves that shorten difficult boss phases. Occasionally, you'll come across a challenge where you'll have to parry a bunch of ghosts, because projectiles pass through them, so that's cute. The parry levels hone your skills with the parry mechanic, so that you can use it more effectively in bosses and the odd level. One of the most intense examples of parrying is that if you're playing with a partner who dies, you can parry his ghost's heart to revive him to 1 health notch, and you can do this as many times as you're able. It's another opportunity to yell at your teammate. The final strength is a world map that's full of secrets, like shortcuts and coins with which to buy upgrades. As the bosses reward memorization and reflexes, the world map rewards attention to detail, and it accomplishes this without punishing players who refuse to explore. While a small investment in exploration may offer a loadout that complements your playstyle, breezing past coins won't ruin your experience because you'll only be able to equip 1 perk, 2 projectile types, and 1 super move at a time. Once one achieves a solid loadout, there's little reason to advance it, especially because plane levels, which are half the game, don't allow any upgrades. A tutorial suggests that players mix and match abilities for different bosses, but I was comfortable with one loadout for the entire game. I don't think any perk is as good as dodge-wide invincibility, and it's one of the earliest ones you'll receive if you bother to gather the coins, which aren't that difficult to find. Since each upgrade costs about 4 coins, a passing interest in them should be enough to score a trinket or two. It's not the kind of game where exploration will strengthen you into an unstoppable tank who turns bosses into bad jokes. The game's going to be nearly impossible regardless of how often you explore. It's more of an arcade game. Anyone can pick it up, but it's difficult to master. It's the sort of family-friendly game into which you may drag your parents on Christmas Eve. It looks like a 30s cartoon, so it's fun enough to see. They'll have a field day. Cuphead's $20 on Steam, and once you beat any boss, you'll be able to fight that boss in expert mode, which advances boss behavior without changing superficial aspects like health and damage. I encourage you to place it on your bucket list, as long as that bucket isn't inexplicably alive. Kill it now!